Okay.
Can you go in a little more on like the deductible and copay co-insurance?
Yeah.
Because there is individual deductible, family deductible, but then there's copays, and then there's co-insurance, and it's different if you're in network or out of network.
Right. So a copay, which is typically going to be your $40, $50, $60 copay that you pay the doctor's office or the facility when you go and have a service done. That's your portion to help augment the cost of what that doctor is then negotiated with the carrier. Your co-insurance is a percentage, and that's the 80-20, 70-30, 60-40 percentage that you would pay towards a service that you're having done. So like an MRI, a CAT scan, maybe an urgent care, emergency room or something, where you have to pay the deductible first and then the
100%.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So in a lot of plans, you have to pay everything out of pocket in your deductible or your co-insurance before you get any benefits whatsoever. What I like to do is educate people about that because they think things are covered, and they're really not covered because they're having to pay whatever that deductible or co-insurance are. And people think because they have a $40 copay, oh, things are covered. No, there's a lot of plans out there that are going to either charge you the copay, and then you're going to pay a co-insurance portion once your deductible and co. So when people get these bills, they're like, I thought this was all I had to pay. No. So it's important to understand and have somebody that explains to you how your plan works and what you're kind of going to be charged for things.
Well, what we run into is, because we're out of network with everybody but Medicare, is they don't understand the difference between copay and co-insurance. And so out of network, we're charging a co-insurance, which is set by their insurance provider. And it's, sometimes 20%, sometimes it's 50%. And so if we're going to bill, we're going to have to collect whatever that percentage is after your deductible's met.
Right.
And so if they have a $500 deductible or something, they're like, oh, that's fine. But it's so rare to find somebody with an out-of-network deductible that low.
Yeah.
It's usually like $2,000 up to like $10,000, $15,000 even.
Yeah.
And
the average deductible today is between $75,000 and $10,000.
Yeah.
Because people choose high deductible plans so that they can have an HSA, a lower premium and an HSA, because that's what employers can afford. Is the higher deductible plans. So unless you're with a really big corporation that's paying a portion of the employee's portion, I mean, back in the day, the company used to pay my family's premiums, and that little by little went away. And most companies today only pay, they're required to pay 50% of the employee's portion on a major medical plan. That's what the carrier is requiring.
But they're not required on what plan they pick.
Exactly.
That's why they're higher deductible plans now rather than these.
Well, because people are only looking at their monthly premium. And so they're thinking, oh, well, I'm going to go with a lower premium. When I have some 25-year-olds that are getting the lower premium and their employer's paying a portion of it, so they only think, well, I'm only paying $100 or $50 a paycheck. But then they're having to pay everything out of pocket, even for a doctor's visit.
They have a massive deductible.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're never going to meet that. Or hope they never meet
Yeah.
that, because that would be a catastrophic event.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people, I swear they don't do anything but this, and that's great. But it would be like, oh, well, you have a $2,000 deductible, so if we bill insurance, it's about $100 a visit, and you have 20 visits. So you're going to spend $2,000 to basically use your deductible up, but by that point, your 20 visits are up.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, that doesn't make sense because I've been paying out of pocket up to that point. I'm like, no, those count as benefit visits. You just have to pay all of it.
Right.
And so even though you just hit your deductible, that was also 20 visits it took to do that. Now your 20 visits won't be covered.
Well, here's the catch, Chris. Some of those plans don't count doctor visits towards the deductible.
Oh.
So some people may be going to the doctor thinking that's going towards their deductible, and it doesn't. There are some plans that do. So again, each plan has to be evaluated on its own.
It depends how the doctor bills it too, right?
No, it's really the insurance plan. So some doctor visits don't count towards the deductible at all. Prescription drugs don't count towards the deductible. Only lab, blood work, or procedures are going to count towards the deductible.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It depends on the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes along with the myth of the out-of-pocket maximum, huh?
It does.